Hi, my name is Jay Barrera. I'm a paramedic with the Harris County ESD 48 Fire and EMS Agency, and I'm here to present to you today an initiative that will protect the lives of our youth in our community. That program is the Shattered Dreams program, and for those of you that are not familiar with it, it is a community-driven initiative that is intended to reduce the injuries and deaths associated with teenage drinking and driving. This program was initially developed in 1998 by the Bexar County DWI Task Force Advisory Board, and it specifically tackles the problem of underage drinking and driving. It's a comprehensive 2-day program and will enlist a number of public safety agencies, area hospitals, school administrators, parents, community organizers, and a number of businesses within our community. It will be a community effort, and the planning stages will be vast. As many of you all know, as being parents, no one wants to have their child affected by the consequences of drinking and driving. The devastation that this can have on a family is indescribable. If you're in public service, you've probably been on a call like that, and we know from that experience that we don't wish this upon anyone. An interesting fact a lot of people don't know, more than half of Texas high school seniors said that they have used alcohol in the past month. And Texas leads the nation in alcohol-related traffic deaths among 15 to 20-year-olds. So because of these issues, we absolutely need cooperation from parents and students. It will be key for this program to be successful. Because we're trying to change the behavior of teenagers, parents must be on board with this process. Because injuries and fatalities are not discriminating, any teenager from any background, race, creed, who's a junior or senior in high school is eligible to be part of this program. We target high school juniors and seniors because the state of Texas recognizes at the age of 16 that you are able to operate a motor vehicle. This will be a 6-month timeline. This is when it will begin. It's going to require the cooperation of multiple agencies. As you can see, that's just a quick list. EMS services, fire departments, law enforcement, air medical services, the local area hospitals, school administrators, the community, organizations and businesses, faith-based leaders and churches, and local government agencies and elected officials. A vast amount of resources will be needed to implement this program, and will need to come together in order for this to be successful. For example, some of the following resources will be required: interagency cooperation, mental health professional. We'll need to have communications, the communications department, not only dispatch, but just communication amongst the entire program. Media relations, we're going to need videography and photography. Catering services or donations of food. We're going to need to have retreat locations for the student retreat as well as a parental retreat. We're going to need school administration cooperation, parent and student cooperation, and finally, volunteers. We are going to need a mass amount of volunteers to help make this successful. Excuse me. Because this program will take 6 months to implement, we're going to need to establish a number of teams to get this started. As you can see, we're going to need a startup team, who's going to have the initial planning and organization, campus teams to work with school administrators, operations team to set up the logistics and communications of the event. We're going to need a parent-student workshop team to orient the participants of those retreats and really the entire event so that they'll understand what their responsibilities are. We'll have what's called a living dead team, and this will establish the students who are going to be randomly and anonymously participating. When we say anonymously, the students will not know that they have been chosen. The parents have given permission for them to participate. We're going to have an entire mock team that's going to cover a crash, death notification, a memorial, and a mock trial. And then finally, the retreat team to actually organize the locations and the activities for both the parent and the student retreat. The big part of this and the big area of cooperation with all the different agencies will be the mock collision. Because the primary purpose of this program is to show the consequences of drinking and driving to the student body, we're going to have a mock motor vehicle collision where students will come out as an assembly time and be able to see the aftermath of a collision, like the direct aftermath of a collision, and see how it's not just a drunk driver who's impacted. It's the families of those injured or killed, as well as the family of the drunk driver. The mock collision shows all of the resources that will be involved when the choice is made for someone who drinks and drives. With that, they're going to see how EMS, police, fire, funeral homes, air medical services, the highway department, they're going to see how all of these resources have to come together because of the decision that somebody makes to drink and drive. As soon as the collision is over, the people that were involved directly in the collision will be taken from the scene after they've gone to the hospitals, after they've gone and transported by various entities, whether it's EMS, the helicopter, or the funeral home, and they'll be taken out to a retreat facility. The purpose of the student retreat is to engage the student to consider the risks and consequences of choosing to drive while impaired. The other portion of that will be the living dead participants who don't know, and they will be taken out of class every 15 minutes to signify the death of someone who passes away due to the consequences of drinking and driving. And the average on this is every 15 minutes. At this retreat, they're going to learn to avoid situations where alcohol could be present or served. They're going to learn the skill of refusing to partake in alcohol-related activities. Hopefully, they'll develop a peer support network. They'll develop leadership skills, and they'll find alternatives to drinking alcohol and choosing to drive while impaired. While this is going on, the parents will be involved in a retreat as well. This retreat will assist the parents in developing the ability to communicate with their teens about the consequences of drinking and driving. It will teach parents the warning signs of teenage drinking. It will teach them the laws that pertain to teenage drinking and driving, and will develop a parent support network in their local community. Excuse me. One of the things that people always ask is, well, how do we know this will work? How do we know that this is going to be something that's actually going to be effective? Karnes City ISD in Karnes County, Texas, had recently performed the Shattered Dream program. And they did a quantitative study of 24 of the participants that participated in the Shattered Dreams program. When they did this survey afterwards, 100% of the living dead participants stated that they had a better understanding of the alcohol and its effects. 100% of the living dead participants stated they now understand the effects of alcohol and the decision to drink and drive that the decision to drink and drive can have on their friends and on their families. 100% of them stated that they now will think about their decisions and consequences of their decisions. 100% of them felt that the overnight retreat helped them to understand the consequences associated with drinking and driving. 96% of them feel that they are better equipped to talk to their friends about the risks of drinking and driving. And finally, 92% of them felt that they have the experience and the understanding of the consequences of drinking and driving after attending the Shattered Dreams program. Those are some pretty high numbers. When we went and looked at the research that they did on the youth who witnessed it from the assembly standpoint, not everybody obviously was involved with the retreat aspect of it, but of the freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors who all witnessed this whole program, there was up to an 18% increase of knowledge and understanding of the consequences of alcohol and the effects of drinking and driving among the high school students. Some of the testimonials that we have from the high school participants of this program from Karnes City ISD. One student said it showed them the consequences of drinking and driving and that you should not do it. It showed them that minors should not even consider trying it being alcohol, because it's bad for your health. Another one said drinking and driving can happen to anyone, even your friends and family. So instead of drinking and driving, call someone because it can save a life. Excuse me. If we can save one life, isn't this program worth it? What if that life is your child? To sum up, the Shattered Dreams program is an effective program. It can impact teenagers regarding the consequences of the risks of underage drinking and driving. Now, there's a lot of external factors that influence teens today when it comes to underage drinking. Some of those are obviously their friends who drink, some parental attitudes toward drinking. I know we had one family that said that if they're going to drink, just do it at their house. We want to eliminate that attitude. We want to eliminate that type of behavior because it just condones the drinking and driving. And then there's just the constant advertising of alcohol and sporting events, television shows, commercials. We as a community must combat these negative factors and show the true and accurate risks and consequences of choosing to drink and drive impaired. We must take the reins and the responsibility and steer our teenagers in the right direction. Now, while research shows that the program can have an effect on high school age students, there are some factors that cannot be included in the research. For example, it's unknown if the maturity of teens as they progress into adulthood has an effect on their decision-making abilities to not drink and drive. It is also unknown that if life experiences that an individual student has impacts their decision to drink and drive. I mean, obviously, if you have a student who has experienced the negative effects of this, that could forever change their attitudes. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I hope that you'll consider us to be allowed to implement this program. For those of you that are interested, I have a list of resources that you can research on your own, and we can hopefully make an impact on our community. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.